Okay, so welcome to all of you for the second half of the second day of this IEEE Winter School on Fog and Edge Computing. So we have had a good 1.5 days so far. So in the second half of the second day, we have a very distinguished speaker who is joining us. So Yoshiki Sasaki from Japan Strategic is joining us to deliver the keynote. So Yoshiki is going to talk on aging society and innovations. So Yoshiki, we welcome you to the event and we thanks a lot for agreeing to talk at the event. So it's a privilege to have you speak at the event. So I'll give a brief introduction to Yoshiki. So Yoshiki Sasaki has received his BE in Mechanical Engineering in 1973 and ME in Systems Engineering in 1976 from Kyoto University. He has created several startups which were integrated under Social Impact Solutions Company Limited 2019. The group of companies are active in healthcare service for seniors, agribusiness and startup investing, accelerator management, technology investment banking, and new material development. Of course, we can go on and on with the introduction to Yoshiki, but it's a brief introduction because we have the bios posted on the school website. So Yoshiki, it's a privilege to have you speak. I request you to please go ahead and deliver your keynote.
Okay. Thank you very much inviting me to speak at this conference. I would, since I see most of the people from technology side, enabler of our businesses, so today probably I will be giving you some potential use cases and the potential market for the 5G and forward computing technologies. So I will share my Can you see this?
Yes, Yoshiki, we can see your screen.
Okay. So my theme is aging society. And it doesn't go. Doesn't work. Maybe I need to change this to different. Sorry about this. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Yoshiki, we can see the screen.
Okay.
Please go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah. Okay. The aging brings in the following negative impact to the society. The first one is the social cost to take care of senior people increases. And the second is the ratio of working population decreases. This is a graph of a ratio of senior people in different countries. As you see, the red line is Japan, which is far leading the ratio. This year, we are 30% of the people are over 65. In that sense, we are a sort of experimental platform for the aging society. And this is the data from Ministry of Health. The medical cost per person increases naturally when people become older. if you see the bracket of the people from 75 to 85, the annual medical cost per person is almost 10,000 US. Therefore, the blue graph shows the ratio of medical cost relative to GDP, which is coming up for these 20 years. And the ratio of the people above 65 is more or less proportionally coming up. So the national strategy is needed to keep seniors healthy and care them effectively and peacefully. First, we need to keep senior people healthy so that they are not needed to be cared by other people, and also they keep at the labor market. For that, we need a preventive healthcare services. And if and when the care is needed, we need to find a way to control the unit cost of caring and also provide attention to the QOL of the senior people and the caring. And to keep the seniors healthy and productive, then we can convert the senior population to be supported to a supporting role, changing the role. And also the senior people is at the same time the market of a lot of goods and services. And this market is very substantial. Therefore, we need to provide the social structure so that senior people would continue to be productive. At the same time, information and robotics technology will help support this move by mitigating the physical weakness of the senior people relative to younger people. This is the data of physical strengths of senior people in Japan from for the last 20 years. As you see, the physical strength is improving over these 20 years, and the 75 to 79 bracket of the people today have the same physical strength of 65 to 69 20 years ago. So the physical strength is improving almost for 10 years. Also, in Japan, senior people are already part of the workforce. 1 out of 2 people are senior people in agriculture, 1 out of 4 in real estate, 1 out of 5 in service sector, and 1 out of 3 in formal and informal caregiving service. When we talk about the senior market, the blue graph shows the size of the market of senior people, which is increasing. And now it is almost half of the total consumption of Japan, which corresponds to almost 1 trillion US. And therefore, the so-called anti-aging market for senior people in wider definition is now amount to 0.7 trillion US dollar. And when we say anti-aging, this is to keep senior people young. We have several different ways to do this. From in the vertical axis, we can see from biological level to social level, and also the passive anti-aging and proactive anti-aging. And there are, therefore, these areas, in addition to the increasing population of senior people, is going to be a bigger market. And During the senior people are healthy, it is okay. But people need to die. Therefore, sometime before they are going to die, people need to become the situation that they need to be cared. And in caring these people, to keep them at home is important. And to do that, we need to provide an environment that these people are cared well at home. And this is a graph of people. In Japan, on the average, people live healthy until mid-70s. But they become the situation that they need to be cared to some level until they finally pass away. This is almost 10 years. When we see the data in India, the last 10 years is almost the same, but the healthy state is shorter than in Japan. When we talk about home healthcare service, there is three tiers. There are three tiers. The first tier is medical care by doctors. This is what we are doing now. It relates to treatment of disease, preventive care and vaccination, eating and nutrition support, palliative and end-of-life care, and dementia care, and support for family, and management of medical equipment, collaboration with caregivers and hospitals. And under the medical care by doctors, there are nursing care by nurses and also caregiving by caregivers. In Japan, only a medical corporation is allowed to provide medical services. So we have a medical corporation called Yoshiki. It has 15 clinics around Tokyo area. We employ almost 76 doctors and other medical staffs. We support patients 24 hours, and we have almost 5,000 home patients. This is 24-hour, basically a regular visit to patients. But in addition to the regular visit, we do emergency services. We have almost 40,000 emergency phone calls a year, and also 12,000 emergency visits to patients' home. And also by the care at home, the annual hospitalization of the patient will decrease from 43 average days to 10, which means the savings of 129,000 bed day per year. So these are resulting in the savings of a social cost of almost 70 million US a day, a year. To do this service, we have a proprietary Homeys home medical information system. This is a cloud-based patient health record and doctor prescription system, specially developed for home visit doctors. It now has 20 active patient data and used by 95 clinics. We share our nighttime and holiday shift visit doctor service to other smaller clinics to help them to operate 24-hour service. And this information system is therefore shared with the doctors so that doctor can see the patient situation from different places and different time. This patient data is also shared by visiting nurse stations and visiting pharmacists. And in most senior houses, the senior house nurses take vital data of patients every day, and that is put up on this information system, so that the doctor can see the past track of the vital data of the patient when they visit the patient. This system also provides operational analytics of clinic management as optional function. And in the future, we need to provide, the more services using IT and communication link. This is the screen of my iPhone, which I'm looking at my mother-in-law, who is living 600 kilometers apart. She's living single. So anything can happen because she's now 91. And this monitor, the room situation of the temperature, moisture, and brightness, and the activity level of her. Then if we look at that, then we know when she took breakfast, when she went out, she got back, that sort of data. To take the data from senior people is rather delicate, because we need to think the perception of these people. They hate to be looked at by camera, for example. So we are not dealing with the machine, we are dealing with the human. So this system has to be friendly to these patients. But as we are seeing the communication capability is increasing very much, and also the computing capabilities coming up very much. Therefore, we could provide an environment like a hospital at home by using these sensors, cameras, and other interactive medias. And we have to process these information and share this with doctors and nurses, caregivers, and other service providers. And this is still an ongoing process, but this is going to provide a very big market for the advanced communication infrastructure. And aging is coming to any country. At the bottom side, we can see the demographic change of Japan from 1960 to 2020. As you see, the population is becoming top heavy. And the above, we can see the demographic change of India. India 2020 is like Japan 1960. But after 50 years, as you see the right-hand side, India also becomes a top heavy. So the country need to face the aging society issues, of course, at the same time opportunities. And one of the solutions is to keep people healthy. And by doing so, we can decrease the social cost. So this is the demographics of India and Japan. It looks very different, but if you see the ratio of the people who need to be cared, that is not very much different. So we need to think how to do it by utilizing all the technology advancement and the sophisticated services. Thank you very much.
thank you, Yoshiki, for your excellent talk and giving a perspective on aging society and healthcare. So, before I pose a few questions that have been put in here, I'd like Kaushik to say a few words. Kaushik, any comments?
Um, well, first of all, I do have a question too, but before that, I just want to mention that we are truly honored to have Yoshiki Sasaki here with us. Just he's a very humble person, very accomplished person, and I just want everybody to highlight that he was one of the first investors in Alibaba, and one of the first board members of Alibaba long time ago when Alibaba started, and he's a mentor to Jack Ma, and such a distinguished and accomplished person. I definitely want to follow his footsteps, and truly honored to have him here. Second thing is that Yoshiki, just wanted to, I mean, this is a very interesting area that you were talking about, which nobody else is talking about, but it's definitely one of the most important things. All of us have parents and grandparents, and we live with, and the solution that you outlined in one of the slides, is that something that you already have deployed with the cameras and sensors and all that at home? Have you already deployed that? And is that something that is scalable? That means that you have put something in place, deployed successfully in Japan, but can we take that and deploy it all over the world?
Yes, the first, the screen capture of the service is one of the experiments I'm now doing. It is remote monitoring of senior people. This is designed to provide service, the monthly subscription of 50 US, including the servers, communication costs, call centers for emergency detection, and therefore, this is still an experimental stage, but this is coming very shortly. And as I said, this is a very delicate area. We have been talking with a very big partner that we would deploy camera AI in detecting what the situation of the senior people are. But the installing camera is a very difficult I mean, thing for senior people, because they do not being watched for 24 hours. Therefore, you need to have a sort of community in using these sensors or camera with these senior people. So a sort of humanification of using these. So that's missing part of this kind of service, and that's the real reason why, from technology point of view, it is completely doable, but this is not sold on the market. So this is what we are now trying to solve. And at your scalability point, this is again something new is necessary. If we do that all by human, it is not very scalable. But if it is to some way processed by the sensors or cameras at the front line, and just interfere with the people with the limited seeing, then that is going to be scalable. So a sort of fog computing capability would be necessary in doing these sort of things. There is a lot of information, but there is no, black and white decision making for human. So you need to collect many different signals and process it, and you have to decide finally decision what action observing party should do. So there is a lot of processing is necessary at the point. We cannot put it all the signals on the communication directly.
Thank you.
Kaushik, we can take one question. So Yoshiki, we have one question. Other than just remote monitoring, what do you see are the advances in robotics like humanoids to keep company to the aged people in Japan?
Yes, that's also still, emerging. If you detect something, then you need to act anyway. So this is going to be the role of robots. But if you make it a product, you need to make an affordable unit, which is something like automobile level, so to speak. And within that budget, you need to build in all the functionalities on that. And the senior deterioration of senior people starts from mobilization. So a sort of micro mobilization at house, or the last 1 mile to the next main mobility is one of the areas that we can deploy robots. And that can be developed very soon.